Dexter Southfield Middle School Grammar. Today we are talking about commas. The fact is, there's so much we can do with commas. Commas can be so confusing. There are so many rules, and commas get abused all the time. So be patient. There are about to be a lot of rules thrown at you. Okay, commas and phrases. As you know, a phrase is a group of related words used as a single part of speech that does not contain both a subject and a verb. If you need a refresher course on phrases, go back and watch the video on phrases. But right now we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different phrases, starting with the gerund phrase. Look at these two gerund phrases. Having a job is important, and we heard the clanging of the bell. Having a job is your gerund phrase here, and the clanging of the bell. As you know, gerund phrases act like nouns. In these two sentences, you'll also notice there are no commas, and that's the general rule with gerund phrases. There's no need for a comma here. Having a job, comma, is important. That would separate the noun from its verb. It wouldn't make any sense. No commas with gerund phrases. Infinitive phrases. I never learned to dance the tango. To dance the tango is my life dream. So to dance the tango and to dance the tango are your two infinitive phrases here, and you'll also notice there are no commas. Infinitive phrases generally never have commas either. So two phrases we've talked about so far, no commas. That's about to change as we're about to talk about the prepositional phrase. So here we go. I was born in 1974, and then in 1974 I was born. So in one of these sentences, a comma is needed. It's the second one. In 1974 I was born. This might seem strange because they're saying the exact same thing. It's the exact same words. So why is it at the beginning? In this one, we needed a comma. It's because here we have an introductory element. When you introduce a sentence with a phrase or an idea, generally speaking, there is a pause. If it's at the end of the sentence, generally speaking, there is no pause and there's no need for the comma. Participle phrases. As you know, participle phrases happen when a verb is turned into an adjective. I saw the town destroyed by fire. Destroyed by fire, the town was gone. The town destroyed by fire was gone. So in 2 out of these 3 sentences, commas are needed. And it is the second one and the third one. And that's where the commas go. I saw the town destroyed by fire. Again, if it's at the end, there's generally no pause here. But again, with this one, the second one, we have an introductory element. And in the third one, this is an interrupter. It's telling you something about the town in the middle of a sentence. The town was gone, and then this participle phrase is describing the town. So when you get an interrupter or an introductory element, you're going to see commas. But when you see these phrases towards the end, like in the first one, there really are no commas. As you know, an appositive is a noun or a pronoun placed beside another noun or pronoun to identify or describe it. Look at these 4 sentences. The writer Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee, a famous writer, wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. My brother Tom is good at football, and my brother Tom is good at football. We'll have to see what happens here. So in the first sentence, the writer Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. This sentence does not require a comma because the appositive Harper Lee is referring to a common noun. In the second sentence, Harper Lee, a famous writer, well, all of a sudden this appositive is referring to a proper noun. So we put in commas. Now I'm going to add some background information. In the first, my brother Tom is good at football sentence, I'm going to tell you that I only have one brother, and that brother's name is Tom. In the second sentence, my brother Tom is good at football, I'm going to tell you that I actually have more than one brother. And I'm talking about my one particular brother, Tom. So in one of these sentences, you need commas because it's a non-essential element. The question is, which one is it? And the answer is, it's the first one. My brother, Tom, not essential, you knew that already because I only have one brother, is good at football. In the second sentence, my brother Tom is good at football. If it's written without commas, it tells me I have more than one brother. And therefore, Tom is now essential. I need to know which brother it is that you're talking about. Commas and clauses. So you remember that a clause is a word group that contains a verb and its subject. Subordinate clause does not express a complete thought, and an independent clause does express a complete thought. These 3 sentences. I grabbed the sandwich before I left. I grabbed the sandwich is your independent. Before I left is subordinate, doesn't have a complete thought. Before I left, I grabbed a sandwich. Very similar sentence. Whoops. There's your independent, and there's your subordinate. In this one, I grabbed a sandwich, and I also grabbed a bag of chips. I have two independent clauses. The question is, where do commas come into play? And the answer is, you have to look at the position of the clauses in the same way you look at the position of phrases. I grabbed the sandwich before I left. No comma here. And it's because you have an independent clause at the beginning. However, here, before I left, I grabbed the sandwich. This sentence starts with a subordinate clause, and that subordinate clause acts as an introductory element, so you do have a comma. And in the third sentence, I grabbed a sandwich, and I also grabbed the bag of chips. This is a compound sentence. And the rule with compound sentences is that they need to be separated with a comma and a conjunction. You always use commas if you've got a series of either items or phrases or clauses. You also would use a comma to separate two or more adjectives preceding a noun. Look at these four sentences. The girl had intelligence, charm, and experience. You'd separate these with commas. The girl's intelligence was seen in the lecture, after the questions, and during the reception. Well, this is actually a list of phrases. In the lecture, after the questions, during the reception. And they need to be separated with commas too. In the lecture, comma, after the questions, comma, and during the reception. I asked the girl where she worked, how she got involved, and what she reads. Again, what we've got here is a list of clauses. I asked the girl where she worked, how she got involved, what she reads. Those are all clauses. They have a subject and a verb, and they need to be separated with commas as well. So, where she worked, comma, how she got involved, comma, and what she reads. And here we've got two adjectives. This intelligent, charming girl had experience. So if you put two adjectives next to each other that are describing a noun, then you need to have a comma in between them. Commas in direct address. Make sure you have a comma if you're talking to somebody. Where are you going, comma, Mary? That laptop, comma, Mary, is yours. We're picking up the pace a little bit here. Commas and parenthetical expressions. You may not have heard of these before, but you probably use them. A parenthetical expression is a remark that adds information or shows a relationship between ideas. I think you can probably figure out where the parenthetical expressions are here in these two sentences. Cape Cod, I believe, is south of here. On the other hand, I don't understand this map. Well, the parenthetical expression in the first one is I believe, and it should get set off with commas. And then this introductory element, which is also a parenthetical expression, on the other hand, should also be set off with a comma. Commas and mild introductory elements, not non-mild exclamations such as, wow, that was awesome, because in these situations you use exclamation points. But in these situations you can just use a comma. Yes, I am leaving. Oh, I see your point. Commas also get used in dates, addresses, and salutations, such as, Dear Edward, comma, I am writing to you to let you know that I am moving to Dedham, comma, Massachusetts. Therefore, introductory element, I am leaving work as of Tuesday, comma, May 24th, comma, 2017. Yours truly, comma, Joshua. And then finally, commas with direct quotation. The student said, quote, I passed the test easily. You introduce a quote with a comma. The student said, comma, I passed the test easily. And then in this case, where the quote comes first, I must study, comma, the student said, comma, because the test will be hard. And the only reason you're putting these commas here, and it may seem strange, a lot of students think this is weird looking, and to be honest with you, it kind of is to have the comma there. A lot of students put the quote and then the comma, but that's not right. This is right. The reason why you've got this is because you're offsetting the student said. So commas are there just for that purpose. Now, in actuality, if you wrote this sentence, I must study because the test will be hard, with no quotes, you would not put a comma there. But if you're setting up quotes and there's an interrupting the student said, then yeah, you need the commas in there. For reflection, in what kind of situation do people use more commas than they should?